At a first glance, me gusta looks exactly like a combination of a reflexive pronoun and a reflexive verb. However, me gusta is not an example of a reflexive verb. Let's see why. Hello and welcome to another lesson with me, Eva. Today I will explain you why me gusta is not an example of a reflexive verb. And basically you just have to look at the word reflexive. What does it mean? Reflexive, reflecting, reflection. If we talk about something reflecting, basically we are saying that it comes back to us. Think of a mirror and seeing your own reflection in the mirror. So you're looking at something, but really you're looking at yourself. You're looking at your own image, okay? So even though you're the one doing the looking, you're also the one receiving the looks, if that makes sense, okay? So the action that you perform basically comes back to you, okay? So just imagine, okay? This is the person doing something, or this is the person doing the looking, no? So they are the origin of that action of looking, but at the same time, they are also where the action ends. They're also at the receiving end, okay? This is what a reflexive verb is. The action originates and ends with the same person, okay? So this is how you could sort of visually or represent reflexive verbs. Okay, you have someone that does something, so an action springs out, okay, but then that same action that they are performing is actually performed on themselves, okay, so it comes back, it's reflected back on them. That's why the name reflexive verbs. So the origin of the action and the end are in the same person. So what happens here is that this person is the subject originating the action, but at the same time this person, the same person, is also the object, in other words, receiving the same action that they had originated, okay? Now, with gustar, we have a different setup, okay? Yes, we do have someone who, in English, likes something. However, in Spanish, it's not about me liking something, it's about this something, or maybe someone, provoking this feeling in me, okay? So I'm only at the receiving end of the action. I'm only the one that's made to feel certain way. And who or what is making me feel that way? Well, that's somewhere out there, okay? So it could be, let's say it's a dress, okay? Okay, this is a dress, my dress, okay? And I can say, I like this dress, okay? So in English, it's about me, you know, and how I feel and what I think, you know, my feelings, my opinion. In Spanish, when it comes to gustar, when it comes to the verb gustar, it's how this dress makes me feel. So the origin of the feeling is with the dress, and I'm only at the receiving end. So the subject here, where the feeling springs from, is here. Okay? The dress is the subject. The dress is making me feel or making me like it, okay, so to speak. And I'm only at the receiving end, no? I am just the object in this sentence, okay? I just react to the beauty of to the beauty of this dress, okay? So the verb here is gustar, and because the feeling originates here, it's this dress that will determine how we conjugate gustar. If it's only one, I will say me gusta, okay? But let's say there are two dresses, maybe slightly different, okay? And I like them both. Now we have a subject, but it's plural. It's not one dress, it's two dresses. They still both have the same effect on me. I like them both. But now, because the subject is in plural, we will say me gustan. Okay, this indicates that it's more than just one dress. Okay, it could be more than one song if I'm talking about songs that I like, or it could be more than one cities that I like, okay? The moment we have plural and I like more than just one, gustan. But if it's only one, I like gusta. Why? Because the subject will determine how we conjugate gustar. Okay, if the subject is only one thing, one person, one place, one song, it will be me gusta. I don't know, me gusta este vestido, me gusta esta canción, me gusta esta ciudad, no? But if there's more than one, if there's a plural, then me gustan estos vestidos, me gustan estas chicas. I like these girls, they're really nice. Me gustan estas chicas, because there's two of them. It's conjugated in plural, okay? I'm still just one, I'm still just me, so me hasn't changed, but the verb has changed, because the verb always has to reflect the subject. And if the subject is singular, the verb is in singular. If the subject is plural, the verb is in plural, okay? Here, on the other hand, it's this person that will determine, I don't know, llamarse. Okay, let's say the verb is llamarse, no? In Spanish, that's a reflexive verb. In English, you wouldn't say I'm called. You would simply say I'm Eva, or my name is Eva. In Spanish, they use a reflexive verb, llamarse, okay? So if it's my name we are talking about, and I'm saying my name, I'm Eva, me llamo me llamo Eva. Your name is te llamas. Te llamas, I don't know, Jack, no? Or Mary, or any other name. Her name or his name is se llama. Okay? And the same then in plural. Nos llamamos, os llamáis, and se llaman. Okay, so if this is me, if this subject here is me, I will say me llamo. But if this is you, then te llamas. If this is Mary, se llama. If we have plural, okay, and we have several people with the same name or the same surname, in Spanish it would be apellidarse, no? Another reflexive verb in Spanish, apellidarse, to have a surname. Then, for example, all of our children share the same surname. Se apellidan, no? Se apellidan, and then you would say what their surname is. Okay? Good. So, here the subject is at the same time an object. Okay? So, in this case, the name and the surname sort of comes from you, but kind of comes back to you. Maybe a better example would be a verb like, I don't know, peinarse, okay, to brush your hair, or comb your hair, peinarse, no? And then you would say, me peino, te peinas, se peina, nos peinamos, os peináis, se peinan, okay? So the person doing the action obviously is the subject, but because they're performing it on themselves, they're also the object. They're also at the receiving end. They're brushing, combing their own hair, okay? Good. So with reflexive verbs, the subject and the object are the same person. With gustar, the subject and the object are not the same. The subject is what provokes the feeling, and the object is the one who actually experiments it. Okay, so the cause, the root is here with these wonderful dresses, and the one admiring them and liking them is actually me. Okay, again, the object and the subject in the case of gustar are not the same person or the same thing, whereas with reflexive verbs they are. And that's it. That's really the main difference between reflexive verbs and verbs like gustar. Gustar is not the only one that will behave this way. Encantar, no? Impresionar. There are many verbs that will follow the same sort of structure. No? They will the feeling will arise here, but be experimented here. Okay. In English, rather than translating this with like, you might want to say it fascinates me, or these dresses fascinate me, or something amazes me, or something surprises me, or something, I don't know. These kind of verbs actually show you that that thing is responsible for you feeling a certain way. And that's exactly how it works with gustar, okay? So when you see this me, do not mistake it for this me, okay? This simply means that I'm the one liking, but maybe it's you who likes these dresses, in which case me would then be te, right? Se wouldn't remain se. Se would be different. With gustar we have me, te, le, and then nos, os, les. So with these two you have to be careful, but the other four are exactly the same, and that's why sometimes you might think, oh, when I see me followed by a verb, surely it has to be a reflexive verb, and no, not always, okay? In the case of gustar, we are not dealing with a reflexive verb. However, in this case, we are. Okay, so don't think me, te, nos and os are always reflexive pronouns, then followed by reflexive verbs. No, they are not. Okay, well, that's all for today. I hope it's clearer now. I hope you understand why gustar is not a reflexive verb. We have two, let's say, actors, two protagonists here, the dresses, or, well, in this case, the dresses, and the person liking them, whereas with reflexive verbs, the origin and the end of the action are with the same person. Okay? Good. Okay, take care, and I'll see you in the next lesson.